Okay, now we're live again. Nobody's watching yet. There we go, they're coming back now.
Going?
Better, they say.
That's
a lot better.
All right.
Okay, good.
That's good. I don't know where we got cut off. I was talking about plant development, where we're at. I pulled the whorl out of one of these plants. You can see the tassel down in there. And there's still about 3-4 leaves to come yet before we actually see the tassel, but it'll be just a few days.
So you think we'll get 3 or 4 leaves out of there in just the next few days here to get that tassel out?
Definitely, no question. So, you know, at this time of the year, we kind of look for plant health, very recognizable by the leaf color. You see a little bit of striping in here. That would be an indication of, you know, some plant health concerns.
Is that a sulfur issue maybe?
Yeah, sulfur, zinc, something like that, possibly. The other thing is I look in the lower part of the leaves, lower part of the canopy, and look for burning. A V-shaped burning on the leaf tip would be a nitrogen indicator. Everything looks fine here.
Plenty of nitrogen.
Plenty of nitrogen. This field, Zach tells me, hasn't had quite as much moisture as some of his others. A lot of these fields where we've got excessive amount of rain, we see a very shallow root system, and you know, that in itself can create some of these symptomologies associated to nutrient deficiencies. But you know, when I dug this plant, you look at the root development is really robust and going deep into the soil structure. So I don't accomplish with the planter this spring. So it looks quite good here. This is a hybrid, it's a 101-day hybrid. I think, Zach, you said you planted May 1st or 4th?
May 4th, yep.
May 4th, so one of the
May the 4th.
fields we planted. So it's a double pearl hybrid, so there's no rootworm protection, but he does rotate corn, soybean rotation. That helps. It isn't always the solution, being we're that close, followed up with corn, but in this part of the country, it seems to work fairly well.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
That you've looked at, Zach, in your fields?
How does the depth look as far as the planting depth? Can you tell that, or are we too late on that?
No, we can. I can tell you that actually at harvest. So you see where that.
Hey, they tell me to tell the seed sales guy to be less nervous over here.
I'm fine, just watching.
That's what I'm calling.
So right in the center of the root system, you can see there's knot, and that's where the seed was placed in soil profile. So if we take and peel this root system back, at this time of the development, you have to in order to determine depth. But anyway, so you can see this is really where the soil line is to there. That was Zach's planting depth. So we're roughly 1.5 to 2. You know, it's a good strong 1.5, so perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Ideal. A lot of times you can, when you dig that up, you can still see the pericarp of the seed. Yep. And the seed color. And
is that rotted out of there by now?
Actually, it probably just fell off as I pulled it up.
Okay, so it should have still been in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
If you look at some of the lower leaves, where some of these are yellowing a little bit like this, obviously that's way down. That's just the nutrients have mobilized in the plant and left those leaves now.
Typically,
or what do you?
Typically, it's from shading.
Shading.
That leaf isn't getting quite as much sunlight.
Sure.
So, you know, it's just kind of sloughing off is what's taking place. So, and you know, the plant has an obligation, and its obligation is to take care of the ear. And you know, sometimes you'll throw a couple of ears on a plant. That second ear, many times, is just becomes a food source for the first one. And the same is true with tillers. Tillers really are not harmful because by the time, most of the time when you harvest, they're gone. And the main plant or stalk has sucked up the nutrients out of that one to finish out the season. So, that's its obligation is to take care of that. If you know some of the firing that you might see, below the ear as we go on through the next few weeks. I don't get real concerned unless you're on the, you see that firing or damping off on the ear just below the ear leaf. The stuff below that is typically isn't that detrimental.
What do you have for
I think
stand
the number is like 70% of the
around
photosynthesis
33.
Takes place from the ear and above once you see the soaking. So it's pretty high percentage. So a lot of the insect pests that you might experience, corn aphids, things like that, as long as they're not on and above the ear, they're really not that impactful.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I don't know. Anything else you want to hit on out here? What do you guys have for questions involving the corn out here?
Someone asked what the stand count was.
I guess I haven't done a stand count. Zach, what was your planting rate?
Should have been planted at about 33,000 here.
33.
Yep.
As I look down the row, I don't see a lot of gaps.
Nice even
so
spacing.
I think you know, we got nice even spacing.
That's the John Deere planter.
Okay.
Right, Randy?
Yes.
Yes. Scott, you got anything you want to add?
No, I think Bruce covered most
He
of it.
he covered it all. Get the camera off him.
No,
Do you do any foliar feeding?
We don't. No.
No foliar feeding?
No foliar,
so
no.
Tell us, what is your fertilizer system or program?
P&K with the deep bander in the fall. Okay. So we variable rate P&K with that bander, then we come through with the RTK and plant over the top of it.
Okay.
After we got the P&K in the fall again, we usually hire the co-op to come by with NH3. Okay. And then we go at an angle. And we go at an angle so that they don't run straight and disturb the whole line of P&K. And that way it just kind of cuts through it at points. Are we seeing any stalk rot? No.
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 Really far too early to see that. You know, virtually, I made a little circle out here earlier and looked for some leaf diseases and ran across none. You know, you'll see some of these spots here. That could be the start of a northern corn.
Anything? What would you recommend for that? Or
yeah, so we're entering that stage of the season where I get a lot of questions associated. Should we put fungicides on, and what hybrids are most susceptible, and you know, all good questions and appropriate this time of the year. I guess my general consensus is our two main diseases in this part of the country are northern corn leaf blight and anthracnose.
Yep.
So pay attention to the scores on those. If you've got a hybrid that scores below average or even average in there, with a season like we have with all the moisture and humidity and heat, it's ideal for the disease pathogens to propagate. So it's pretty likely that you'll see a benefit with fungicide application on those hybrids.
Sure. So you would maybe recommend a fungicide application here, even this late?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm trying to remember. Some of the labels vary a bit, but you're going to want to wait for. I'll probably say something somebody will get after me for, but typically I think you got to wait for brown silk, right?
Not 100% sure.
Okay. But well, I mean, refer to the labels on that timing.
Yep.
So during pollination, those applications can be disrupted. So
sure.
Be careful.
How'd you deal with your weeds?
Here's what we're going to do, guys, on all the questions. There's so many questions coming in. We'll answer what we can when it comes to the crops here, and then these guys from channel, the seedsman guys and the agronomists, they got to get moving. So once they're gone, Randy and I can stick around and answer some other questions.
Your weed control is excellent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Weed control looks good in here. We don't put a pre-emerge down on our corn. We do on our soybeans. On our corn, we don't. We just come by with an early pass as soon as, pretty early. As soon as we get that pre-emerge done on our soybeans, first pass on corn, and that's all this has had is one early pass on it, and it's pretty good. But it's all conventional tillage as well.
Did you look at your heat units or yet?
No, I haven't. Our heat units are pretty good this year.
You're probably at least 100, based on your planting date, you're probably 150 ahead of average.
Yeah, we're ahead of average by getting it in early.
Good.
Which June, we had a lot of rain and a lot of cloudy days, but it was warm.
Yeah, so we had a 2-week period in June where we would typically see 75-degree highs, and those 2 weeks this year were 85. So that added a lot to catch up some of these corn fields that are planted late.
Yep.
So that's been real beneficial. So I think the guys in this area will have a chance to harvest some dry corn.
Yeah,
Can you
I'm hoping so.
heat units?
Heat units look pretty good, but is really just a unit of measurement that we use to measure, I guess, how would you explain that, Bruce?
Yeah, so all plants and insects, their life cycles are based on GDUs, okay, growing degree units it is, and it's calculation where 85 degrees is the high, anything above that the plants don't utilize it, and then it drops off or cuts off at 50 is low. So so perfect day is it'd drop down to maybe 55 at night, and it'll get up to 85, 90 during the day. That's a perfect day for corn growing, 24-hour period. So that in a day like that, you'd maximize, probably come up with about 25 GDUs.
In one day?
Yeah.
Yep, that'd be a good day. As far as maturity, pretty much everything we planted for corn the last several years, the earliest one is a 92 day. This is 101 day. This is actually the latest stuff we've ever planted. So this is a new hybrid for us, but Channel's had this out for a couple of years, right?
This is the second season.
Yeah. Okay, just the second season.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. And it is I think I said earlier, it's a double pro.
Yep.
So it has corn borer protection.
Yep.
As well as three modes of action for that, and then it also has the Roundup tolerance. So.
Yeah. So this is, somebody did ask too, this is genetically modified corn.
Yep.
So you can see we did not put our hazmat suits on to come stand in it. So.
What speed did you plant at?
Probably 5.4 in this area here.
So you haven't put the fast system.
We don't have the super speedy, what's it called, exact emerge?
Yep.
We don't have the exact emerge.
Speed tubes for precision.
Speed tubes. Do you have speed tubes, Randy?
We don't.
You don't.
We have about everything else.
Everything else precision. Why not speed tubes?
Explain. We don't feel the need. We need to plant at over 5.6 miles an hour, and we put fertilizer on with the plant. We put it under the seed, and that's not available with speed tubes. You have to dribble it on top of the seed.
Gotcha.
So we use totally tubulars is what we have on our farm.
Yes, 5.4 miles per hour. Do we ever plant them closer together to get more yields? To a point. We try and get the perfect spacing to get the best yield we can economically.
Right. So there's numerous university research studies that'll say unless you're able to produce a consistently corn yields in 30-inch rows above 230 bushel, there's probably not an economic advantage to switching over to 22s.
To switching over to narrower rows. Sure.
Right. So stay in the 30s. That latitude has a lot to do with that. So the further north you go, I think we get a quicker reaction. Shorter season, and you can utilize the photo period better. So.
Yep.
Bryce Kustis is really hoping for a shout out.
Well, you want to say that?
I'll give a shout out to Bryce Kustis.
All right.
YouTube channel.
You got lucky, Bryce. No more shout outs, or else everyone asks for one. The Y drops. We got one guy asking about Y drops. You want to go look at the beans now?
Yeah, we can go look.
We can go look at beans, and I'll explain on the Y drops.
Right.
If you got to run, Scott.
Nope, I'm good, yeah.
Do what you got to do. As far as Y drops, we've never Y dropped anything. We were able to get all of our N down in the fall, and our soils are pretty heavy clay soils. There's not a lot of side dressing in this part of the country. I don't know, Scott, do you ever mess with, we can ask Randy about Y drops in a second, but have you done much for side dressing?
I haven't myself,
no. No. And he's in a little bit sandier area than us, but we seem to be able to get all the nitrogen down that we need. And for the most part, it stays. Actually, we have more problems with the low areas losing the nitrogen than needing extra, even in the good areas. But Randy actually does a lot of custom Y drop stuff. What do you know about it? What do you see?
We tried it ourselves a few, and we used it more as you'd put down a certain amount and then wait and see what you got, and then you could add more if you had a really good crop coming.
Yep. Basically, if you need it, it can be useful.
Yeah, we get wet, then we're out there mudding it in, breaking some off, it gets too tall. We do some custom work. South Dakota, a little lighter ground. So we do wide dropping out there.
Yep. Because we're about an hour. We're an hour east of South Dakota.
Yep.
So CEC and pH. The average pH of this field is probably about 8. CEC is probably 20, 25 average. Probably goes up into the low 30s in some spots. Same with the stuff across the road. So we'll head over here and take a look at the soybeans. Would chisel plowing the clay help? Actually, that's what we do. We chisel plow the soybean stubble in the fall.
Big one here in the compaction zone? Or?
Yeah, this is a high compaction zone here. We take all the semis in and out of the field right here in the fall. There's a lot of trucks that came out of here last year because of the corn. This is our biggest field here. We rent this field. It goes back that way, all the way past that place up there. This is 475 acres in one chunk here, which is unusually large for our area. We're lucky to have a nice piece here.
Okay, you can also determine how deep you plant it.
Yep.
Where that little crook is in the root system.
Yep.
That was
from here to here.
Yep.
Should be about 1 3/4 inches.
Sure. Yep. Makes sense.
Rent versus own, we're about 50-50. Head on over. Let's go this way, Scott. We'll get out of the compaction more. Some cysts?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? On those ones?
Yep.
We better talk about those for a minute,
A
huh?
little more robust plant.
Okay. No, we cannot grow rice in this area. Somebody from Venezuela is asking. There's a worm. Even the GMOs didn't kill that worm. That's a super worm.
The really robust nitrogen nodules on there.
Yep.
Big white ones.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah, looks really good. Soybeans fix all their own nitrogen.
Can you explain a little bit of that on how the nitrogen fixation?
Well, basically these microbial in the nodules here produce their own nitrogen.
And that's nitrogen that's actually been pulled out of the air, correct?
Right.
Yeah, they pull that atmospheric nitrogen in and they fixate it on the roots.
I don't see any cyst on this one. There might be a little one there.
Are you still getting us on there, Randy? Okay.
Yep.
Some of the messages stopped, so I wondered about it.
Why 30-inch?
30-inch on the soybeans, basically because we have a 30-inch planter for corn, and when we've tested narrower rows, we really haven't seen a lot of advantage to it. So I guess our theory is we'd rather own one planter than two. But actually, Dad and I were talking about it yesterday, and we are questioning if maybe there's some pretty good advantages to getting some of the soybeans in earlier too, plant later varieties, and maybe push a little bit of yield. When we were averaging 40 bushels to the acre up here, maybe it wasn't so critical to get them in early, but you know, we're trying to get 60 bushels now. I don't know, Randy, you guys run 2 planters, don't you, just to try and get soybeans in early?
Yeah, and we, whatever the ground allows. This year the bean planter actually went to the field the day before the corn planters.
Yeah, just because that was the field that was ready.
Yeah, last 5-6 years we've been doing them kind of together.
Yep.
So here's some cyst. I'll use this root to point to them.
Yep.
The little white bodies there.
Yep.
Very small. Those are eggs.
See if I can point right on this piece here, huh?
On that piece right there.
Yep.
Yep.
So those are cyst nematodes, right?
Those are they're eggs.
Eggs for the nematodes, okay.
Nematodes, yep. Suppose I should take that call. Want to bet it's my wife?
Is she watching?
No.
She's telling you you're going over on time. Crops grown in our area other than corn and soybeans, not much. A little bit of wheat, a little bit of alfalfa. Not a lot.
You don't have to go out too far and we see some edible beans.
A lot of edible beans and a lot of ton of sugar beets if you get not too far from here.
Right. Yep. So the other thing, you know, I don't see a lot for diseases on the leaves. You see some bronzing and some brown speckling on the lower leaves. But Zach, I'll bet you if you went back and looked at the bean height when you sprayed, that's how big they were. So you got a little bronzing from the additives probably in your tank mix.
And these ones down on the very bottom here.
These guys here.
Yep, that's from probably from the Flex Star burn.
Yep. Exactly. So you can usually pick that out in the plant.
Yep.
You know when you sprayed. So Zach sprayed when it was in its second trifoliate.
Second trifoliate, yeah, that'd probably be about right. So you can see what he's saying here is the bottom half of the plant here's got some speckling, some damaged leaves, versus the new leaves. Well, the plant was about this tall when we sprayed it, and we know the chemical we spray around here. If you're not spraying dicamba, most of the time you're putting in a Flex Star that is going to burn the beans a little bit, but it's our best method of weed control right now.
So I looked at a number of plants earlier, and I think your average is R2, reproductive 2.
Okay,
so
that's what I would have guessed, yeah.
Be kind of the cutoff when you, the label says you can't spray. Now in Minnesota, we're unable to spray dicamba or XtendiMax on beans after June 20th.
Yep.
That's specific to Minnesota. But you know, from a label standpoint, aside from state regulations, about a week ago, within the last 5 days or so, is when we transitioned into that R2, and that's the cutoff.
How do you stage a plant?
Okay, how do we stage it? There's quite a variety in here, and that's uniqueness taking place in soybeans today. Is we see, you know, historically, our plants, the flowering and reproductive stage is triggered when our day length changes.
Yep.
So vernal equinox, and
someone says we got more people watching this than the live CNN feed right now.
That's awesome. But you know, look at all those flowers on that one. So we and our stage is every axillary bud, right? So these out here are not necessarily axillary buds. These guys are.
Okay.
So R1, R2. Okay.
Which ones did you say are not axillary buds?
Out here.
Gotcha. Yep.
The axillaries are right on the stem.
The main stem.
Yeah. Yep.
So once they move beyond that, or they won't?
They won't.
Okay, gotcha.
The plant just keeps growing, and you know, we actually have a third one here, right? That's on the axillary too.
Yep, okay. Mine said it quit, but I got it going again here, resumed. We planted these at 140,000 plants per acre, which is probably a little bit thin, but bean populations are kind of all over the board, aren't they?
Well, bean population recommendations are tapering back. There's a number of Midwestern universities that'll tell you anywhere from 100 to 150,000 is more than adequate. The further north you go, so North Dakota's probably got the most aggressive number.
Yep.
But Iowa and Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota, they're all backing off on that number.
Sure. And on 30-inch rows, I think we're going to be a little bit lower, aren't we? Versus the 15-inch rows and the solid seed guys.
Right.
Yes, this guy plants 7.5-inch rows at 200. So yeah, there's a big difference when it comes to soybeans. They flex quite a bit.
They really do.
Yeah,
15-inch rows at 140, 150.
15-inch rows at 140, 150?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm about the same myself.
On 15-inch rows?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yesterday, we had an agronomist meeting over in Janesville, Wisconsin. So we had one of the soybean specialists from the University of Wisconsin in.
Look at that.
There was a few questions.
Somebody was asking about aphids.
Got an aphid.
Scott found one.
Finally found one.
This little green bugger right there.
Yeah.
He's going to turn into 2 by tomorrow. And then it's 4, and then it's 8.
I am seeing some at my home farm here.
Did you have to look pretty hard for that one?
I had to look a long time for this one.
Yeah. Well, kill him. Maybe he's the only one.
They're also wondering if your seed guys are going to reimburse you for all the plants they're pulling.
Yes, they will. Yes.
Randy,
Yeah, I'm going to need a credit on this, Scott.
Yeah.
That's kind of like,
only if it's
is that
pregnant.
like
I
shooting
killed
a
it.
minnow?
Shoot the minnow, shoot the aphid.
So aphids are actually born pregnant, aren't they?
Yes.
They're born pregnant?
That's how they reproduce every...
They're asexual.
I did
How
not
fast
know
do they
that.
reproduce?
I don't remember. I think
They double pretty much every day from what I think is kind of the rule of thumb, isn't it? Somebody will tell us here. No irrigation, Chris. It's all pretty heavy clay soils. There are some irrigators in the area, but pretty few and far between until you get about 15 miles east.
So one of the phenomena we're starting to see, and it's merely due to genetic selection, I think, is we start to see some of these soybeans in our part of the country flowering prior to that June 20th or equinoctial change of daylight.
Sure.
There's more and more varieties within their populations. You'll see them start prior to that. So, and the breeders are telling us it's kind of a phenomenon brought on by selection.
I hadn't heard that yet.
So that's why we have a tendency to slide to earlier maturities versus what we were doing 10 years ago.
Later maturities, sure.
So you're planting a 1.8 maturity and a 1.4, probably not a whole lot earlier than that. You know, 10 years ago, Scott, would you think about planting anything later than the 1.5?
About a 1.4, 1.5, yes.
Right.
Yeah, and now, well, I guess we got a field of 1/8 down the road. That's the latest bean we've ever planted, but we got it in early and it looks pretty good. You got any more on the beans you want to hit on, Scott or Bruce?
There's a little puckering on the leaves here.
Dicamba damage.
Sorry, it's probably environmental or...
when you say puckering on the leaves, you're looking at how
This here.
Yep.
You know, where it's wrinkled up on the end.
Yep.
A lot of times that is brought on by the residuals that are in the field, or it's brought on by the additives in the spray mix. A lot of times additives alone will do that. AMS, high doses of AMS will do it.
So if this is an AMS deal, most likely this stem was not here when we sprayed.
Yeah, but it's
so it's a carryover. It's still coming through.
Yep.
Gotcha.
These are X's or not X's?
These are not. No, these are, well,
Actually,
we're in the plot right here, so there's
Okay.
I guess a 50-50 chance, because we've got a tester. We've got several different Extend varieties running through here with a Roundup variety in between them. So we'd be 50-50 chance we're in one or the other.
No, other than that, I don't see anything unique about it.
You think we have any residual resistance on our sprays because of the high pHs on some stuff?
Well, obviously that's going to vary by product, but we don't. It's pretty rare to see much from a DNA standpoint, and historically that's where that would come from, is the DNA chemistry, the prowl and Treflan. That's
okay. Yep.
So,
stuff that doesn't get used often anymore.
We pretty much quit using that when the pursuit died. Thank goodness, because now the guys can raise small grains again.
Sure.
And the corn yields jumped 40 bushel.
Yep. You think that was from that pursuit
carryover. And DNAs.
Yep. Somebody asked one back here. Oh, they were asking if they can genetically modify soybeans. Yes, they can.
Yep.
All of these are. If they weren't, they'd be dead because we sprayed Roundup out here. So the box must have been labeled right, huh?
That's right.
Any more, guys?
No.
No?
Covered it.
And no more questions for us?
You got any good ones there, Randy?
Nope.
No.
Right.
2,500 acres total. Somebody already answered that. White mold. There are white mold issues in this area. We haven't seen any personally. Not bad. Very small problems with it, but I always wonder if that's because of our 30-inch rows and our 140 population. But yeah, it definitely helps.
Does Flexstar affect corn the next year if sprayed too late?
Yeah, Flexstar. The question, if you didn't hear from Randy, is does the Flexstar affect the corn for next year if it's sprayed too late? And yeah, it will.
My general rule of thumb to customers is get it back to the retail by 4th of July.
By 4th of July, yep. Try and get it on the field before July 1st, really.
And then what are nematodes?
Well, they're a small worm, like parasites in the soil. They're pretty much in all soil. It's a matter of what type of plant they feed on. There's corn nematodes and there's soybean nematodes that we deal with. We're entering an era or a period where there are some nematicides being offered to seed treatments, so that'll change the management of the nematodes. Typically at this point we've been using nematode tolerant, race tolerant type of soybean, but it appears as though the nematodes that have adapted to a lot of those races.
Mm-hmm.
I had one guy asking about Japanese beetles and another one asking about the Asian beetles.
Yeah, so I haven't seen either one of those in this part of the country, this area this year, but we do occasionally see it. We see more of those for the southern part of my geography. We'll see some of those. Yeah.
We don't. I've had a lot of people asking about the Japanese beetles, and it's just not an issue that I've ever worried about. Do you think they'll make their way up here, or are we too far north where it may never be a problem?
Tell me about global warming, Zach. See. Right.
Well, it depends on who you ask there.
Yeah.
We won't get into that. Scott, you want to hit on global warming?
No, I'm not touching that one.
No.
Yeah. But our environment has changed, no question. And will Japanese beetles move north? Yeah, you don't see a lot of them north of the Iowa border.
Yeah. Yeah, I've just never heard of anybody around here having a problem with them.
Not to economic damage levels. So.
Any dicamba problems this year in the area?
Gosh,
I don't know that I've heard of any.
I haven't really heard of any yet.
I have
very little on the dicamba problems.
Right. Yep.
Scott, you know of any?
None.
Not really, no. But there was this year, there was a lot more guys that planted dicamba, and I would say no more people used it. You know, a lot of people planted dicamba resistant beans and didn't spray it. Some of these comments are really distracting.
Yeah, we had some pretty wet soils, wet fields at the time it was supposed to be sprayed, and some wind events, so it just kind of held them out of the field.
Yep, kept it. Right. Yeah, and for those who don't know, we have a June 20th cutoff in Minnesota. It's the whole state, right?
Whole state. On
our dicamba this year, so you can't spray it after June 20th, which almost made it I mean, for a lot of people, in a lot of certain fields, it was a useless chemical. Yeah. If your pre-emerge held well.
And that date is, they use it from Iowa to Manitoba, so that's quite a spread there of geography. And after the 20th, they were up to the 4th of July, where we were close to getting into that R2 stage. There were some opportunity days the guy could have.
Yeah, we did get some down, the 19th and 20th.
Okay.
But
is there such a thing as soybean rust?
Not in our part of the country. It never moved this far north.
It's gotten close a few years, hasn't it?
Close.
I mean, it's in southern Minnesota.
Right, but that rust monitor thing, they've run it the last, well, they've run it ever since it was discovered in the U.S. In the last 2-3 years, it's tracked very little rust.
Yeah, that's another issue that we haven't had to worry about. Yep.
There's a spray pilot coming.
There is.
Hopefully spraying for mosquitoes.
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Recreational with a Cessna.
Dicamba is can you explain what dicamba is? It's an older chemical that's been around for a long time. One of the oldest, right?
Probably been around 40 years, right? Pretty close to the same time as 2,4-D.
Yeah.
It's a growth regulator. So basically the plant takes it in, the susceptible plants take it in, and they grow themselves to death.
Yep.
Cell membranes burst and
same as 2,4-D, right?
Right.
Just makes the plant try and grow so fast that it kills itself pretty effectively.
Growth regulators. Yeah.
But so these soybeans have been genetically modified to be resistant to that, the same as they've been genetically modified to be resistant to Roundup or glyphosate. Right. So dicamba is just another tool for us for a form of weed control. That's basically what it is now. A spray that kills your neighbor's weeds. Well, you hope not. Not if you use it correctly.
They're weeds, yeah.
Right, yeah. As long as they're weeds, then the neighbor can just tell you thank you. Any weed escapes? Could you show us where you all are standing? Not that I've seen, I guess. The weed control is pretty good here.
I made a circle and walked here earlier too, and I didn't find any.
We don't have weeds in our fields.
Except for that approach.
Yeah, there's a few up by the truck there. A little bit of a giant ragweed break out there.
A nice storm to the south of us there.
Yeah, it's gonna rain south for sure. That probably does it, Scott. You probably got to run.
I gotta run.
Okay. If you guys want to stick around on the live feed, maybe Randy and I. Randy, you want to stick around and BS?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Bruce. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming out.
You bet.
You too, Scott.
Thanks, Zach. See y'all.
Nice to meet you. Scott?
Yep, see you, Randy.
As far as Liberty goes, no, I've never personally used a Liberty bean. We've never used it. Roll Doc, you are exactly correct. That is correct.
It's Miller time.
Well,
It's never Miller time.
it's always Miller time.
Miller time.
I guess it's Coors time because that's what these other guys drink, so that's what I bought them. KJ, I know you're the one with the girlfriend. Is it the girlfriend that has a beard? Because that one really threw me off for a minute there. Whoever has the girlfriend with a beard just about caused me to lose it halfway through that.
Yeah. She did something extra at night too, I saw. I didn't quite get all of that.
What is the biggest misconception of herbicide usage? I would say probably the fact that sometimes you hear about us drenching our soils in pesticides. And that's not true. We come through with 1,000 gallons of water, and that'll cover 100 acres. So that does, that does 100 acres and 1,000 gallons of total product, and it's probably 950 gallons of it is water. Yeah, so when you see that mist coming out of the sprayer, it's not just a bunch of pesticides.
When will the car be fixed?
The race car. So whoever asked knows that it's wrecked. The race car got wrecked about 2 weeks ago, and we're waiting for Jimmy Mars to build us a new frame. It was bent in the front, the back, and the center was twisted. Nice. But I will be running somebody else's car tomorrow night, just for one show. Did Master Pipe Layer get his excavator out? Yes, he did.
We did.
First time, do you say that was the first time you've ever had an excavator that couldn't pull itself out?
Couldn't pull itself out. Yeah. But you know what they say, if one hoe doesn't get it done, you always got to bring it a second. That's
right. 2 hoes are better than 1. Yep. All right. Okay, they're gone. Let's go get a beer, Randy.
Definitely. Dry.
Whew! I am thirsty. Population, Chris, in this field, 140,000. Pretty much all our beans, 140,000.
Can you fold your feet on your beans?
We've tested with it a little bit. I'm trying to answer questions and read the comments, and that doesn't work. I got to just look away. Foliar feed on the beans, we've tested with it. Micronutrients mostly is what we've tested, and there's been times where we think we see an advantage to it. There's times where we think we see nothing. And I guess more often than not, we figure the way it averages out, it's not worth, Tina and I will be at the hatchery by 7. Don't be late. Well, you know what, Becky? I don't know what time it is because I'm using my phone for this, so we'll get there when we get there, but let's see. I'll let you know in a minute if we're gonna be quick or if it's gonna take a while.
Well,
I only got one arm here, Randy. Open that up.
Well, I only have one arm. We gotta work together, man.
Yep. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, it'll be a while. Yeah. It'll be a while. We'll be coming. Don't order for us. You have 15 minutes to get to the hatchery. Okay.
Oh boy.
Patrick, you just keep saying 15 minutes for as long as you can.
15. Did he say minutes or did he say 15?
He said 15 minutes.
Oh,
and it's about a 12-mile drive.
Say the minutes. We'll be there in 15, Becky.
Y'all rednecks, but y'all racist. Racist? Jeez, I don't know about that.
Racist,
we need rain in Missouri. Well, we do not need it here, which is why I'm glad those clouds are over there. Probably raining in Benson. We had some sprinkles today. What more you guys want to see? You want us to walk around in the fields? The agronomists leave, and all of a sudden our count picks up. Now we got 100 more people.
Yep.
Any geese in the corn stubble? Oh yeah, every fall they come in.
It's better have DEET in it. Oh yeah.
40%. It's getting in your Coors. Yeah. Whose car are you running? I'm gonna be running Shaw's car. He told me it's too tight. I'm not gonna like it, but I'll just be happy running it. You're an idiot, Raphael. Oh, well. I thought that was directed at me when I started saying it. I wasn't saying Raphael was an idiot. I was reading the comment. CNN's got 21,000 viewing live now. Well, that is more than us. They beat us. 100 bushel beans. No. No. Not 100 bushel beans. I would say if this field, if we had, this field is capable of whole field average, this field's capable of 65, 70 in a really, really good year. It isn't going to do that this year though. I'm hoping, I'm still optimistic for 50 to 55. This is a pretty decent cornfield, and it's the hybrid we planted has been hyped up a little bit, so I'm pretty optimistic on this cornfield. I hope it's been killed a little bit by high rains, but I sure hope we can hit 200 with it.
Any aphid pressure? We found one.
We found one aphid walking around in the bean field across the road here among 4 guys. One aphid. Leave the beans in for a cover crop. Yeah, that's probably better.
We live in Minnesota, but no hams.
Eric, I run dirt track. Was running late model and modified. Now it's just a modified. If you're asking the chassis brand, it's an MB Customs. That cornfield is 113 acres. Bobby, we are scouting corn and soybeans, or we were. The agronomist just left, so now we're scouting the back of my pickup truck. How many ears per corn stalk? 1 on average.
Maybe a half. Maybe 1.5.
Maybe 1.5 average.
Let the half come off.
1.25. What are bushels? Well, a bushel is 56 pounds of corn, 60 pounds of beans. I never have marketed anything through Cargill in Alberta. I think Randy has, or the people he works for have sold a bunch there. No, the water samples actually, I'll just tell you guys now before the video comes out, but what happened was I took those first samples on a Friday, threw them in the cup holder of my pickup, and here comes a neighbor. So I threw them in the cup holder of my pickup on Friday. They sat there all weekend in the heat, and so they weren't going to be an accurate sample anymore, so I chucked those. I took new fresh samples yesterday and drove them directly to the place that's testing them. I did make a video, but I'm going to wait to finish it until I get the results back. So it should just be a couple of days before I have the results. So this guy, not who I thought it was. I thought Jim was going to be on YouTube for a while. How many farmers does it take to light bulb some change? All the corn go to the fuel plant. Not all of it, typically. Yeah, we bring a lot of corn to the ethanol plant now. Atrazine, no, not this year. We did not. No atrazine or bicep. 73 Nation. Ryan, what's going on, Ryan? Price is locked in above $8. Not on all of it, but on a lot.
10 minutes warning.
10-minute warning. Okay, we got to be at the hatchery in 10 minutes.
You got to take that minute out though. Just say 10 warning.
Yeah, just say 10. 10 warning, or you be there in 10.
Be there in
Don't
10.
say minutes, because you got to leave it open-ended.
Yeah.
It could be 10 hours, 10 days, 10 years.
Yep.
Water hemp issues? Yes. Yes, we have water hemp issues. Water hemp's the reason we've sprayed Flexstar on all the soybeans. We have giant ragweed issues too. Flexstar knocks the crap out of that. So how many farmers does it take to change a tire on the farm? None, because that's why we do have farm hands. Lol. There's an old white.
He did
Nice.
not want to be on YouTube.
He certainly did not. He had a racing shirt on too. Seed consultants? Well, that was our channel guys, our seedsman, our agronomist. Justin, stop saying minutes. Oh, he's at 15. We're good. We got 15 minutes. That's good.
Rip ground.
Yes, we'll rip this corn after we combine it.
How much we all get paid for a truckload of beans or corn?
Truckload of beans, roughly 900 bushels times whatever you sell it for.
How heavy?
You call we never break the law like that.
So at 9 it'd be 9,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you sell at $10 beans, it changes day to day. Yeah, a lot of people like that white tractor. The tractor I learned to drive in was a white 2135. What do I hunt? I used to hunt a lot of ducks. Love duck hunting, but I don't get a chance to do it anymore. Now I started deer hunting again with the muzzleloader. A little bit of pheasants. Not a lot of hunting anymore. How many farmers does it take to take some farmers for the taking?
Do you have a lot of grain left in the bins?
He hunts beaver. Our grain bins are close to half full yet, but we got a lot of it sold for August. We're going to start hauling like crazy in August. Well, this guy said, who would win in a fight between Randy and I? Should we find out? Well, I don't know how to set the camera up here. He doesn't have sleeves on, so obviously he's going to win. Ryan says shotgun one.
I do not have a knife.
You ever see a hairless beaver around here? Oh yeah, yep, I have.
The moment you got that, your face was priceless.
Oh, I knew. How many bushel of corn do you get per acre at harvest time? Well, I'm hoping for 200 on this. 2 years ago it was better than that, but we've had a ton of rain this spring, so we need a lot of heat. I don't know. I'm like I say, it's a late maturity. It got in early, and it's been hyped up pretty good, so I'm pretty optimistic about it.
Here's one that we've had discussion before. Where to go? What do you prefer, 2-track system or tires?
It really depends on the application. Randy is a 2-track man. He loves his
Definitely.
RTs.
Duals are for fools. That's my motto.
Duals are for fools. That's his motto. Well, they both got their good and the bad. If you're running a nice flatter field like this is a pretty flat field. Big acres, long rounds, you don't have to turn a lot. I really love the tracks. If you get in a muddy spot that you got to turn out of, those 2-track deals are.
Just let go of the steering wheel and
it doesn't work. Randy,
Randy,
I've had them stuck plenty of times, and I've gotten plenty of pictures from you.
Yeah.
You know what? I shouldn't even say this because guys are gonna eat away at it. But the articulates on tracks, there's some red ones out there. They're not built right, but it's a good theory. There's some really expensive ones from John Deere that I'd love to have sometime, but that's my opinion on that. I really do like the articulates on tracks. Why we're on the 2-track Deeres? Because we like John Deere, we like Midwest machinery, and we don't want to pay the prices of an RX. Buy one, get one free on tractors. Quad track for the win. Well, I've driven a couple of them. They're nice tractors.
Yeah, I'll stop there.
Randy won't talk. Randy's more green than I am.
You lease most of the equipment?
No, we lease one tractor. The rest of it, that's the only thing leased right now. Do the 2-tracks push up a lot of dirt when you steer them? No, not really. Ours aren't bad. I mean, a little bit.
They were worse with the narrower stance.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
Used to be set in at 60 inches. It'd be a little worse.
Yep. This person says, fantastic comment, inspired me into a career in the ag sector. Nice. Randy likes beer, that's correct.
Tools keep you from being fools. Well, until you're digging the mud out of them, or you try to get the mud out of them and rip a side shield off a combine or something, then you'll put a little different dirt around here.
Well, for the guys who saw my video last fall of the RT that had the mud and stalks and crap stuck in it, that was this field actually, but you can dig mud and junk out of any tractor, Randy. It wasn't even that muddy when that thing picked that up. Oh, I was mad at that tractor that day. You guys really don't want to answer. All right, here, so Ozik, he says we don't want to answer. I'm guessing, my guess is...
The quad crap one? Oh, did I say that?
Hey, you can't say that.
Sorry.
My guess is he's asked the same question 100 times and we haven't seen it. If I see it, I'll answer. If you won the lottery, would you still farm? Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would. Massey 1105, he's having a Coors with us right now. How many orders of wings should they get? Well, Randy and I both like wings.
Yep.
Randy and I we need an order between the two of us. Add one more order for us too. How do I always see her comments?
Because it pops up gold.
She looks different.
I guess.
What's she doing on my YouTube channel? I shouldn't allow that.
Cleaned the hoe yet. We will finish that project hopefully tomorrow, and then it will get spaded out. So if anybody's looking for a job tomorrow, they got a spade and a really dirty hoe.
Well played. Well played. That was good. I got Ozzy's question. Do you top dress the corn with nitrogen? No. We put all of our nitrogen down at the beginning, or at the end of the year. Actually, we put the N on in the fall with anhydrous NH3, and the soil gets cold. We try and wait till the soil's below 50 degrees. We do wait. Soil's below 50 degrees, so that that anhydrous or that N doesn't change forms and leave the soil. That way, it binds to the soil all winter. American farmer life is awesome. I wish I lived in a capitalist country. Here in Venezuela, the government takes 70% of what we harvest. Oof, I don't even know what to say to that. I don't know what to say to that. The Corvette is a 14 or a 15. It's not mine. That's Dad's toy.
Copper Trail beers.
Copper Trail? That's right. It's 25 miles that way. G-Man says get the wings to go. If money wasn't an issue, what is the tractor would you go get? I would get a 9RX. Randy would too, he's just not going to admit it.
I have a taker here for the spade. I will do it from around Dalton. Dalton's really not that far away. If you're looking for a job, we've got plenty.
Oh, for digging out the spade? Yeah. I'm a lot better looking than Randy. Yes. There, I turned it around, so I'm not looking at Randy the whole time. I'm not actually any better looking. Oh, I gotta put these on. Are the tear-offs gonna hit you guys hard? Yeah, they already have. We've lost over $2 in soybeans. And what are we at here now on corn? 70 cents probably?
They'll be back.
They'll be back. Well, let's hope. Let's hope. Ever been pulled over while driving a tractor? No. Fall apply NH3? Yes. Hey, I didn't dye my hair.
It looks kind of gray.
My hair looks gray?
But it definitely, like, holy moly,
that can't be.
Hair.
That can't be. It's not possible.
That is not the sunlight. It's not the camera anyways.
Well, then I'll hold the camera here so people don't rip on my hair.
You gotta go lower.
I gotta, like what?
There you go.
I've hit a John Deere with a train. Whew. You need to elaborate on that. You can't just say that. I've never hit with a John Deere. Were you not watching where you were going or what? Ever use a crop duster? Yeah, especially when it comes to aphid spraying. A lot of time, not a lot, but sorry, I was reading comments there. I get distracted. What was I talking about? Crop dusters. We'll hire them for aphids sometimes. If we got good beans, we don't want to run over them all. So yeah, we'll hire crop dusters for that. But now we got that 4830. So that's better. If we get 10,000 likes, they will dye their hair. Well, I don't know. I didn't say that.
Definitely not.
Randy says he's not doing it. No, yeah. It's not worth that.
It's not worth a few beers over.
No. Oh, speaking of that.
You ever toured the Case IH plant in Benson, Minnesota, which is what, 25, 30 from here?
Benson would be, yeah, 30 miles, 25, 30 miles that way. We're standing right between Benson and Alexandria. 530 Case quad track that developed a massive oil leak with 100 acres to go.
I crop dusted my wife.
Rogstown, no. No, I'm not even going to read that comment. Eat hot wings for 10K likes. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll eat hot wings for, I mean, I pay to eat hot wings. I'll be driving by in 10 minutes. Prepare yourself. Who's this guy? I don't know who you are, but if anybody knows where we're standing, and I know some of you do. I know some of you do.
Greenies? You ever have greenies on Gull Lake? Someone's wondering if we ever go to Gull Lake.
Greenies on Gull Lake. I've been on Gull a couple times.
They know Gull Lake. They
never heard of that place. Langford. No, you're wrong. Dad's red Corvette, is he past the midlife crisis? Yeah, I think he's past that. He never had a crisis. He's always loved horsepower. He's a hot rodder. He likes shiny things with big engines. What pre-emerge did we use? We used Authority first this year, and it worked great. I mean, it worked unreal. What'd you guys use?
Yep, Authority.
Authority. Authority first or assist?
First.
First. Worked good?
Yep.
Yep.
We actually did have some we got rained out on, and then we come back. It's probably 3-4 days later we come back, and then we didn't get a rain for a week or two, and then that pre did not work.
Because it needed that rain to activate
that rain. You could tell right to the line where we'd gotten rained out that night.
Yep. You'll see that next year too, I bet.
Yeah.
Oh, Isla says hi. Hi, Isla. Next video will be hopefully later this week. I just had one yesterday. Jeez. How many do I need? Cat-powered trucks. Do your cat-powered trucks have twin turbo or single turbo? They are single. Jason Crone's farm. Jason would be 200 miles that way, maybe 225. He probably has no clue who I am. We bought Jason's used cars one time. I really like him, even though I don't know him personally. I'm a Crone fan.
I have an iPad because I'm trying to read comments.
Aren't you too old to be a millennial? No, Randy and I have had that discussion.
I am too old.
Randy didn't even know I was a millennial on the way to Kentucky. He got really mad when he found out he was.
Nope, I'm an X, Generation X, man.
No, you're not. No, you're not, Randy. No, you're not.
Yep.
82. Somewhere in 82 is the cutoff.
Yeah, I'm 83.
Randy, we had this discussion. Hi, Zachary Smith. You spell your name correctly. You don't smell. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. My buddy races GRT. Nice. Mods, Lates, both. You should make your farm and your land a map for Farm Simulator. I'm getting that a lot. How difficult would that be? I know Welker did it. I almost messaged him to ask him how tough it was. Can't be that tough.
I would assume that would be a Becky thing.
Yeah, that's definitely a Becky thing, so Becky would need to.
Do you have any non-family farm members, farm hands?
Non-family farm hands? Yeah. Yeah, we do. We got one guy, we got Jim. He's part-time, he's non-family. I mean, he's almost family. He's not blood family. But, and then we got a couple seasonal guys. So how many, huh?
Asking about when you check the soil temps this spring.
What's he asking about it? Yeah, I remember checking soil temps.
Yeah, the naked butt.
Oh, yeah. That was this field. That was this cornfield. Yeah, the first cornfield we planted. How do you become seasonal help? Well, if you're a decent worker, I'd about guarantee there's a farm in your area that would love to have you. But you got to be a decent worker. You can't call in sick every day. You can't show up an hour late. You can't want to get done working at 4 o'clock every day unless they got someone to replace you.
You're going to be handed a $500,000 piece of equipment. You better take care of it.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to drive a $200,000 tractor with a $100,000 piece of equipment behind it, don't show up hungover. Will the wife deliver the wings? No, I see she just told me to wrap it up. I ignored that comment. But here in Ireland, an average farm is 300 acres. Would you get a big bud? No. They're cool. They're awesome. But no. How are you brothers with how farms work? Hey, are you brothers? No. No, I've met Ryan one time. Why not? I'm guessing he's asking why not get a big bud. Well, because we got we got newer tractors. And the main reason would be, I guess, you're probably asking me because you've been watching Welker's channel. And the difference between me and Welker is that he is incredibly mechanical. It's pretty impressive. But I'm not, I'm mechanical. I can fix a lot of things, but I'm not mechanical enough to tear apart a big bud and turn it into a sprayer. That's crazy. Benefits of tracks would be decreased compaction is the main thing.
Mud.
Smooth ride.
Traction.
Yeah, goes through the mud.
Power. There's really not that many benefits, disadvantages to tracks.
This guy's just asking Gillespie Farms. Well, Gillespie Farms would be, I'm going to point them out. What are they, Randy? 40 miles that way?
45.
Yeah, Scott and the farm, they're 40 miles that way. Randy knows them pretty well.
Brady. Yep.
Yep. You should eat Carolina Reaper wings. It sounds delicious. Do you have a cowboy hat or boots? I have boots. I don't have a hat.
I do not.
Race the duel in the desert. You know, actually Don Shaw is a really good buddy of mine and my biggest sponsor. I've known him for a long time. And he's got a place down there. And we've talked about pulling the car down there, but we just haven't done it, I guess. It's a lot of money. And a lot of time away from 4 kids. Quads do get stuck. Not fun getting them out. Took us 3 triples to get ours out. Well, there you go. If it was green, it would never get stuck.
Yep.
I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. No, I do not own a cowboy hat. I'm sorry. I have one of them little, goofy. It's a little goofy, I bought it in Mexico. Like a little flimsy Corona hat thing, but I don't wear it. I wore it for one day because I was drinking a lot of Corona. Stamer Farms, well, they would be... His main site is 60 miles that way, and he's got some land around here.
He's got another site in Bruton.
Yeah, he's got another site in Bruton. That would be 30 miles that way. Hillshire Farms, I don't know where they're at.
Hillshire. I've heard of that. Can't think of it though.
The lighting's wrong. I gotta go to this side of you. What's the best beer to drink on the job? Well, depends on the job you're doing, but if you're driving tractor, I would say none. I know that's a disappointing answer. Randy does it, which is crazy.
No, never.
Gonna rain. No, that's the south. It's already past us. We are right on the edge of it here, but no, we're gonna be all right. We got a few clouds rolling in, but no rain.
Will you ever followers visit the farm?
You know, I've had 4 or 5 subscribers or followers come visit the farm, and honestly, it's gotten to where I get 3 or 4 people a week asking, and I hate to do it, but I've been telling guys no now because it just takes, you know, I can't spend 6 hours a week just talking to people, which I'm sorry about that. I regret that, but I just can't. So I'd like to do some sort of a farm day at some point, and maybe do something along the lines of what Ryan does with how farms work. Maybe at some.
We'd probably have a yak there.
We would have a yak there. We would. Yeah. So if we had a farm day, apparently.
Should we throw it out there?
Should we just throw it out there? So if we have a farm day, we're gonna have a yak there, and I already know who I'm gonna ask about getting a yak.
Yep.
And if he's watching, yes, Mike, it's you. I'm gonna ask you to borrow a yak, and you're gonna be able to meet Zach and ride a yak. And that's a really inside joke, but I'm sure you guys will like it too. Dalton? We're 1 hour north of Dalton. No, Dalton. I was thinking of...
I'd say we're south.
We're south. We're definitely 40 miles south? 45 miles south of Dalton?
Like
do I chew tobacco? No. No, I don't.
Never have.
Call it Yak Day. Well, I like meet Zach and ride a yak better. Would you have a leg at your farm day? A leg? What do you mean? Future video ideas. Well... I've got the water sample one coming up. I kind of just roll with it. Whatever works out day to day. If I get a day where I can run a camera for a while, I just roll with that and make a video that day, I guess. If we get a newspaper guy that decides to write an article about water quality, maybe Randy and I will touch on that again. Better go eat your wings before they get cold.
They make new ones.
They do. They make new wings. Will you get a 7R? 7R? I don't know. Maybe.
Ashby, what, 45 South Ashby?
Yeah, 45 south of Ashby. South and a hair east.
Well, Coors Light is my go-to beer.
No livestock on the farm. The race car's bent. Getting a new frame built. Concerned about soybean prices. Yep, very. But there's not a lot I can do about the prices. I can manage the marketing, but I can't do anything about the prices. They're going to go up, down, or sideways. What is a dream crop you would like to grow? I think it'd be cool to do like orchard farming, but I don't know anything about it, so maybe it wouldn't be cool at all. I don't know. Corn and soybeans seem like, I'm just going to admit it, they seem like a pretty easy crop. Ought to try tobacco. In Minnesota, you think tobacco would work in Minnesota? Oh, hemp? Hemp was a huge crop in Minnesota, and it's catching on quickly. Not pot, G-Man, but hemp.
Johnson's harvested, where was that, by Morse?
They harvested some?
There was a quarter planted. It was oil. It was for hemp oil.
Yep.
But they announced last year that they harvested another crop they'd never harvested before.
Farming Life says Wisconsin grows a lot of tobacco. That's interesting. I did not know we had any tobaccos even close to this area. I didn't know there's a county in Wisconsin that grows like half of the ginseng in the world. In one county in central Wisconsin. Yeah. There was another one I was looking at there.
You do variable seed rates when planting.
Variable seed rates, yeah. On the corn. Beans, we don't really worry about it. But on the corn, yeah, we do. I'm not sure. I wouldn't really pay somebody to write an expensive application, but I use Climate Field View to write my own, and it works pretty slick.
Do you use any Monsanto seed?
We do use some Monsanto seed. All of it. Pretty much all. It's pretty much all Monsanto. We plant some hefty soybeans. Or my stream said it quit. Where was I? So the hefty soybeans, I think they even get a lot of their genetics from Monsanto. A lot of different companies still buy their genetics from Monsanto. So my guess is 98% of what we plant is Monsanto genetics.
Have you ever milked a cow?
I have milked a cow, yes. I couldn't really tell you much about it. But yeah, I've milked a cow. You guys ever try pinto beans? I think there's a few guys that have pinto beans, but not very common. You gonna make it down to Madison Speedway? Probably. I mean, we don't plan ahead. Probably. Hopefully. Probably this fall sometime. It'll probably be a September race deal where we just decide let's pull it down to Madison.
What kind of a semi do you have?
We have 3 Kenworth semis. 2 T800s and a W9.
The beer's getting warm. They already ordered us beer?
They already ordered. Did she say that?
Yeah, that's silly.
Why would they order us beer? There's still like
no idea.
18 beers to go.
By my count, we have like nine before we gotta go.
Yeah. No, I've never milked a goat. I've fed a goat a tube of toothpaste at the fair one time. Sugar beets, yeah. Sugar beets grow really well in our area. The problem with our immediate area here is the rocks. So there is no sugar beets in our immediate area. But if you get 20 miles in just about every direction from us, there's sugar beets. Especially going northwest up the Red River Valley. It's crazy.
Will farming in the USA survive without subsidies?
Will farming in the U.S. survive without subsidies? Yeah. Well, right now, they are right now. I mean, the amount of subsidies I got last year was
You don't just haul your subsidy checks to the bank?
Yeah, well,
like
I just put them in the bin, put my subsidy checks in the bin, and take them to the bank. And yeah, farming will survive without subsidies. The only subsidy that concerns me right now is the crop insurance subsidy, and that would be a completely different discussion in and of itself. But besides that one, there really isn't another one left for us. Ever thought of planting sunflowers? Yeah. Actually, Scott, who was here earlier, he left quite a while ago, but Scott plants a few acres of sunflower every year. The issue is you got to haul them up to Enderlin, North Dakota, and that's what, 2 hours? At least an hour and a half.
Are you gonna be camping in a sunflower field here for too long?
Yep. Yep, I am. Ever had a bad crash in any of your vehicles? No.
No.
In a race car?
Not even a snowmobile?
Oh, I've had a couple good ones in a snowmobile. Well, for those who don't know, I had a pretty good snowmobile wreck when I was 19 or 20 and actually broke my hip. Still gives me problems.
I laugh every time I hear you broke it.
Yeah, I broke my hip. I broke it. Broke it good. Did a week down at Hennepin County, not the jail, not the prison, the hospital. What kind of race car? Dirt track, modified. With soda. What information do you use to get the variable rate seeds? I use yield data, yield maps from past years. How do you like that Rocky Mountain Kool-Aid, Randy?
Definitely.
How's Randy's farmer's tan? Should we check it out?
It's
not as bad as I was expecting. Worse.
I don't think it can get any worse.
I think it was worse last week.
The sun's just not hitting it.
What's your advice for someone who wants to farm but doesn't have the capital?
Find a rich daughter. Rich farmer's daughter.
Find a rich farmer's daughter.
Yep.
Find a guy who doesn't have any kids that's trying to get out and work.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Get in on them. Work hard. Be loyal. And the other thing is, you don't need big acres to start a farm anymore. I really believe that. You can buy 5 acres and you can do something to start some sort of a niche market. You know, you get creative with it. I really think there's a lot of opportunities for that.
He's married already. Then you're gonna have to go.
Who's married already?
The guy that asked that question.
Oh, he's married already?
Yep.
Well.
So then it would be, yeah, start working for him.
Get your wife to co-sign on a loan, I guess. Should show the race car. Well, it's down to a bare frame. It's sitting in Wisconsin right now. You raced against R.C. Whitwell. I don't think I have ever raced against R.C. I love hogs and chickens. Yeah? Well.
I have hogs and chickens.
Put your butt on the grass and sit for 20 minutes.
20?
I joke with a guy I work with about his hat being curved from looking in the mailbox all the time for his government check. Heard that one. Or the other one was, why do they bury farmers in shallow graves? So they can still reach through the ground to get their checks. I find that one offensive. I'm upset that I told it. It's funny though.
What's the subsoil moisture like? I would say
subsoil moisture?
Full?
Full. Totally full. It's wet out there. If John Deere never existed, what brand?
Ooh, I think we just give up.
Just quit. The heck with it. There's a different brand?
We actually currently run a New Holland combine.
Yeah, Randy runs a New Holland combine.
Yep.
I think New Holland makes nice tractors. So does Case.
Yep.
You know what? I think the fence and the egg goes. The cats. I like those tractors. Question for you: what is the rule for ruling a wetland, and how do they classify a wetland?
Most of the wetlands are classified through aerial photos.
Imagery.
Yeah. There is some where they'll go out and actually look for aquatic species.
Yep.
But most of it is aerial. And Minnesota, starting the Wetland Conservation Act, I believe, was issued in like 85, took effect in 92. So anything that wasn't ditched, drained, fixed, stays a wetland. So if it's wet year after year and they go back 20 years and see that it was always wet, it's going to be a wetland. Yep. If it was ditched before those years and they're still wet and year after year you're not getting a crop out of it, then they're classified in FW, which is a farmable wetland, meaning it was attempted to be drained before that Wetland Conservation Act. And if it was drained and fixed and it's perfectly fine year after year, then it's a PC, prior converted wetland, and it's basically you can do anything you want there.
Sure. So let me ask you this now, because I don't know the answer to this. So if there's a spot that's never been touched, you've never tried to improve it, you've never tried to drain it, and you can only farm it You can farm it some years, but not all. Is there a cutoff on what would classify that as a wetland? Is it 7 out of 10 years, 8 out of 10?
I don't know if there is an actual set for that. It comes up to, they keep changing it, and right now it's a drainage team for Minnesota.
Yep.
So there's 3 or 5 people on a drainage team, and it goes to them. Takes 9 months to a year to get back a determination on what you can do there, and it's kind of up to the people, the drainage team.
Yeah. So there's a whole group of people that'll look at that and decide, kind of like a jury, really.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried Massey Ferguson or Veltra? Not Veltra. No, I've never even, I don't know that I've ever seen one. Massey, yes. Actually, my grandpa was a Massey dealer in the 80s. My dad had a few Massey Ferguson combines. I don't think Dad ever had a Massey articulate 4-wheel drive, but my grandpa, I don't know why I keep disconnecting, but there we go.
Here's a pretty good one. And where's the damn wing delivery girl?
Yeah.
Becky, are you still
Becky,
on here?
She's still.
We're getting a little hungry.
If you're in the hatchery, I don't know if they want me to say the Wi-Fi password over this or not, but
probably not.
Probably not.
But it's not like you haven't been there.
Yeah, Becky should have the Wi-Fi so she can watch us, and we need wings.
Well, she is, because they keep commenting. So obviously they're watching.
Oh, Becky's still there watching?
Well, she did a little bit ago.
Now she's calling on my phone.
Okay.
I don't think I can answer that.
I wouldn't answer it.
She's got to call Randy.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. You think we got to wrap this up? We've been on for an hour and 17 minutes. Beer's cold in the truck. Yeah.
It is.
No, none of our equipment takes DEF. And will that keep you from buying one? Probably not.
We've got some running on DEF, and we've no issues. We have
No
issues with the semis.
On DEF?
Yep. But
That's
as far
my
as
wife.
the
She just messaged you.
as far as the tractors, we have a combine running on DEF and a 8345 RT running on DEF, and no issues. Nice.
You see that? Practice that.
That means that.
Yeah, well. All right, well, we're going to stand here responsibly and finish these brand new beers before we head to the hatchery and enjoy some wings.
We do not run New Holland headers. We run MacDon.
Still smoking. Okay, Mike. No, stay here and keep drinking. It's satisfying.
Yeah.
Klaas, would you ever run a Klaas? Yeah, sure. Sure I would, you bet. There's no, who would be a Klaas dealer around here? Fergus, maybe?
Klaas?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I don't know where to get a Klaas around here either. Tornadoes lately, no.
There's Klaas
Not
choppers
many.
around. There's not, I don't know that I've
Klaas
ever seen a
combines.
Klaas combine.
There's a guy 3 miles that way that had a Klaas combine, but he traded it for a deer. Oh, the Millennial farmer.
The golden
Mrs. Millennial farmer. The golden Millennial farmer says the wings are here.
I don't see any wings.
I don't.
You got
Where?
any wings?
What? I don't see any wings. Sure wish there was. It would go good with this beer. Have a great night, guys, and be safe. Would I buy a Challenger? Yep. All right, we're out. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching. Love you. Toodles.
Till next time.
Till next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Now I got to figure out how to shut this off.
I'll just wait for it to kick you out again.